So this is the homepage that the applicants will, this is where they start, right? So this is where we have our set of pre-eligibility questions. So the applicant first has to select these, their answers to these pre-eligibility questions. We'll first make one ineligible so you guys can see what it looks like as the applicant. So we'll just say no to this one. So is the property located in the state of Connecticut? Are you the owner living in this property as your full-time residence? Here they have to select their county that they reside in. The next drop down for town and city populates based off of the county. Is the property a single family detached home? And then here they're going to select how many people currently reside in the household, including themselves. What these blue boxes are, they're tooltips. So it gives them the definition of household. And then they're going to enter the total annual income of all persons residing in the household. And again, we've provided a tooltip for what household income is defined as. Did anyone in your household experience a financial hardship due to COVID-19? Did you reside in the property at the time of hardship? And then this is our second AMI calculation, which is coming off of how many people were residing in your household the calendar year before you experienced hardship. Okay, so then once they've answered all questions, you select pre-eligibility. Okay, so this is the example of that. It tells them why they did not qualify for the program. Okay, so the only option is to start over. They cannot move forward into the application. Any of these questions, if they said no to any of them, that's the reason that they would then save. I will just click through and let's make this eligible. Okay, so now we have this screen that says you may qualify for assistance under the MyHome CT program. It shows the questions and then their responses. And then to continue, click continue. What this is a disclosure, just talking about the American Rescue Act and just some other details about the application. They have to agree to continue. So now this is the homeowner registration form. They enter their first and last name, preferred contact type, their full social. So this is the password. So the email and the password that they set up during registration is going to stick with them through the entire process. Okay, then the property address. The property address, it only allows you to continue with the town that you selected during pre-eligibility. So if I tried to put in a different town, you'll see that it's not going to allow me to submit with a different town. That I chose Essex at the first, so I have to continue with that. Okay, you have to then verify your address. So you can either accept and use the current address, use the suggested address, either even if the property verification does not find your address, you just say accept and use current address. It doesn't, you are still allowed to proceed even if they do not find your address in the check. This is the terms and conditions for using the system. You accept. So then we get the success window. So it's saying you'll receive an email to complete your registration. So what this is this is requiring a two-factor authentication. So you have to go into your email. Where's my, oh, here we go. So here's the email verification. So it's saying, thank you for registering your account with MyHome CT. I'm going to copy the verification code, click on verify email address. Okay. Okay, so I verified my email. So now I need to log in to start the application. Okay, so again, these are disclosures for using the system. You can scroll through and read. You need to select the checkbox, click accept. This is the disclosure that they read at the beginning. Requires their signature, and then confirm. So they can either review the documents by clicking here. We also do get an email. They will be sent to their email. They didn't come through yet, but anything that any e-signed documents throughout the process, whether you review them and save them now, or you will get them to your email address as well. So you just click out of this that window. So this is the landing page. So you end up landing on the review and submit page. You have to start over here on the left for general info. And a lot of the information populates. So we have our household members. This is the applicant with, the information that you put during the time of registration. The only information that you have to add. So if you see the red asterisks, those are required fields. The relationship to the applicant is always self. And then this is an important question. So does this member currently receive income? So for all household members, you have to select yes or no to whether they receive income. If you select yes, you're then going to be required to, provide the income documentation. Scroll down, we have their contact information. So if it's the same, if their mailing address is the same as the property address, they just click this button. So then the information pre-fills. The remaining field is, how did you hear about us? Okay, so we can scroll up, click save. Now, if there is an additional co-applicant or household member, you would then click this blue button, and you would select the household member type. And again, your number of household has to match what you put during pre-registration, or I'm sorry, during the pre-eligibility. So I selected that we had a 2-member household. So the information that I put in here, it has to match 2, which the system will tell you if there's an error. So if I, just quickly, if we're see here, it's telling me that I'm incomplete because I haven't provided I didn't give the full 2 members. So I'll just quickly add a household member. And then I'll say no, that we do not receive income. So then you can see what it looks like in the income screen. And we can proceed to the next step. So we are on property details. The only things that fields that need to be completed here is property type, and then your mortgage type. So it's conventional. There's the don't know, FHA, no mortgage, reverse mortgage, USDA or VA. And then we've got our reason for hardship. They would select their reason from the drop down. If they select other, you are required to put in a hardship reason detail. And then we also need to know what was the date the hardship began. There is a tooltip here that if the hardship was before COVID and was exacerbated or worsened by the pandemic, then they should enter 1/21/2020. If they've received other COVID-related mortgage assistance or rental assistance, they would add that information here. This is not a required field. However, if they were a participant of Unite CT, or there's a few other programs, or even our own pilot program, they would click add and enter that information here. But again, it's not a required field, so they don't have to. Okay, then we can proceed to the next step. So now we come to the income and expenses. Okay, like what I was saying before in the general info tab, for the question of does this member receive income, only the individuals that you say yes to are going to be required to enter information in here. So if you look at this drop down that I have right here, you can see that Marcus was the only individual that I selected yes to income. So you're going to click on the name. And then look at, there's different types of income. So we want to make sure that you select the correct field to put the amount of gross monthly income. So this is the monthly amount, not the annual amount. So you'd have to put in the figure, click save. Now, just if there was another household member, you would then click in here and then scroll down to that member and then do the same thing. You would fill in their income, click save. But Marcus was the only individual. Then if we scroll down, this is where we enter the household qualified expenses. So here the applicant is only entering the housing related expenses to what they're asking assistance for, right? So if they only have a delinquent mortgage and are looking for mortgage assistance, they're going to fill in the information by selecting this action button. So here is where they're going to select their mortgage, the mortgage company or their servicer. I'm just going to click one for now. If they do not see it in the drop down, they can select other and then just type in the servicer's name. The loan number is required. The payment frequency is required. The payment amount. So this is their monthly payment amount. The total past due amount. The current due date. So this is the most recent date, like the delinquency due date, right? So like what is their mortgage due for? And then you click save. Just takes a second to refresh. Okay, so I'll also, let's fill in, act like we're looking for condo association fees as well. So it's the same situation. You would either select the condo association from the drop down here, or you would select other. You'd enter your loan number, payment amount, past due amount, current due date, and then save. Okay, so then here you can see that you see your total past due amounts, and then it also lists the payee and the creditors. So then we can proceed to the next step. Now this is a Q&A section. So what this screen is showing you, these are all the Q&As that you answered during pre-qualification. Okay, you cannot edit these questions, but there are a few extra questions to answer. So are you currently in an active bankruptcy? You say yes or no. So these are questions for the type of assistance they're looking for. Do you need assistance bringing your mortgage current? So this is if they have a delinquent mortgage and they're looking for a reinstatement. Do you need assistance making your full monthly mortgage payment, whether current now or after being brought current? So this is asking if they need go forward payments. Do you need assistance bringing your other eligible qualified expenses current? So this is, items like real estate taxes, non-escrowed real estate taxes, condo fees, non-escrowed homeowners insurance, their water sewer liens. So we could say yes. And then do you need assistance making these upcoming periodic payments? So these are go forward payments for those non-mortgage expenses. Do you have a foreclosure, sale, or law date? And then the question here is, are you currently working with a resource or a housing counseling agency? Okay, so the Q&A is complete. We can proceed to the next step. So here is where they will upload their documents, okay? So we can see if you're applying with a phone or a tablet, there's this camera option where you can take a picture of your documents and upload them. When you're on a computer, you either upload using this blue upload documents or you use this blue arrow. You can also, there's this applicant list that you're provided. If you have multiple household members, you can click all, and what will populate at the bottom here is the required documents for every single household member. If you want to just upload, like for what that member, like in particular. So Marcus, because he's the applicant, is going to have more documents to upload than say the household member. They only have to upload their income documents if they have some. So I'll upload, and again, these are red. All the required documents are in red. It lists all these documents in case somebody has other information that they want to upload, but only the red are required. So you click File. You do have to scroll down because there are other documents that are required, like the mortgage statement. And if the applicant does not scroll down, they will be told. So if they think that they've already clicked, that they've uploaded all the required documents, when they hit review and submit, it's going to tell them what's still required. So they'll be able to go back to this documents list and find all of their documents. But again, they're in red, so they just need to scroll through and upload all the red. Okay. And then at the bottom, we have our third-party authorization. So the applicant would click to e-sign this document. Okay. And again, you can either review and save the document here, or they will be emailed to the applicant. And then we have our application agreements. So you can either scroll through and read it or click next. It'll bring you down to the signature section. Confirm. Okay. So we have uploaded all of the documents. I'm going to scroll back up to here. The next step that they go is, so you can either hit review and submit here or use this green button to proceed to next step. So this brings you to the review and submit tab, where you want to see, right, that all the different tabs have been checked off and marked done, which means complete. So then all we do is submit your information. Says your case was submitted successfully. And then they also do receive an email letting them know that their application is called an application acknowledgement email. We can go back to the email in a second, but at any time, the homeowner can log in, right, using the email address and the password that they created during registration. And when they do, they'll log in and they'll come back to this screen, right? So they'll see their case ID number. They'll be able to view the case status along the way. We could look at. So these are those e-sign documents I was telling you that they will be emailed to you if you don't save them at that time. And then here's the MyHome CT application acknowledgement email. So it just lets them know, it's confirming that their application was submitted. It gives them, just telling them to please allow up to 60 days for your application to be processed. And that's it. It's completing an application.